Guys, welcome back to the studio. Got something I'm pretty excited to show you today. This is something I've been working on for several years now. This is RotorBits. Put simply, what is RotorBits? It is a modular multi-rotor construction system. It is all of these pieces combined to make things that fly. You can make stuff pretty much for anything in RC. It doesn't have to be a multi-copter. Pretty much is a combination of different parts, joiners, conjuncting points made from molded plastic, and some kind of tubing. Typically this 10mm square tubing that HobbyKing sells, or this really exciting new aluminum tubing. This is a custom extrusion made just for HobbyKing, drilled every 10mm like all of the other RotorBits parts. So you can just insert this stuff and bolt it up. You can also use this stuff to make other things like landing gear trusses for aircraft, etc. Very, very cool. When we put all this together back in, gosh, it's been almost 5 years when we started this. Back in 2012, my buddy Gabe out in Santa Cruz and I coined the term RotorBits and registered the domain name for rotorbits.com. We've sort of been sitting on it since then. A little while later, I started working for HobbyKing, met Anthony, and he really liked what he saw, and we brought this stuff to life. They went ahead and injection molded all of these parts. The original RotorBits copters were like my tricopter here. This guy's a couple years old. This is all 3D printed plastic. So this is made entirely from an FDM type 3D printer. And notice the plastic knives for a landing gear. Had a little incident on an airplane, we won't talk about that. But this pretty much was the reason why I got involved with RotorBits. Gabe was doing quads for a couple years before I got started, and I really wanted to make a tricopter. I hated all of the systems that were on the market, the sloppy sort of tri-rear end, so I came up with this guy, which is a direct gear-driven tail drive servo. That thing pretty much launched my involvement with RotorBits. I took it from there with Gabe. We built a lot of copters, did a lot of testing, did beer lift contest for HobbyKing, a bunch of other stuff kind of to refine this stuff. When we were very happy with it, we handed it off to the boys at HK. They took the stuff to an injection molder and figured out how to take our 3D printed parts and make injection molded parts. The rest is very brief history. The guy over there that I'm really stoked about, Chris, in the multi-rotor Chris that you've seen from the dailies, came up with these FR4 carbon reinforced fiberglass bits. This really takes things to the next level as well, because it allows you to make some changes that you would otherwise not have made to the copter, bolt some additional stuff on. That combined with the 10mm extruded tubing means you can really make just about anything you can imagine. I've made a bunch of copters, you can see what I imagine with this stuff. I've done a ton of these. You've seen them all flying the last couple of years. Most recently, I finished this big hex for our video project. In particular, this has Chris's FR4 creations on it. I was able to put a battery on the rear here and also to mount my battery and balance the copter better as a result of those parts. So very stoked on that. So guys, stay tuned for all of this. You're gonna be seeing a lot more of RotorBits, especially from me in the near future. I'm gonna have this stuff down at SEP, showing all the other shows we're doing this year. The hexacopter with the gimbal there is gonna be used a lot for video here in the studio, so we've got some very cool things coming for that. You guys, pretty much, man, I did this stuff for you. The imagination is the only thing holding you back. I really want to see what the community can come up with using RotorBits. Post to Facebook, post to the HobbyKing forums, post to the product page. Let us know what you're doing with this stuff. Let me see what you're doing with this stuff. Who knows, maybe there'll be some prizes involved. I'd love to see it. Check you later.